here is Ubuntu Linux is now running on M1 Mac. What do you think about that, Joe? Do you think that's a good deal, running Ubuntu Linux on the M1 chips?
Well, I think it's awesome. I mean, more people want to get into Linux. I'm not sure if this makes it any easier, but I guess it's now compatible more. I don't think I think Apple's not sponsoring this. They're not like okay with it. You know, is that right?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
So this is like them trying to go around this.
Yep.
I think Apple had a lawsuit. Trying to over the iOS security testing tool. So my brother is way more into Linux than I am. How about you? Do you do some Linux?
I have used Linux on my Windows PC. I do dual boot into Linux as well, but at this point in time, I haven't done dual boot in a few years. I do have it installed as a virtual machine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's see. I've been, I think what it is they say like there's less clutter on it, right? There's like less resources used for shiny graphics if you don't want it, right? But I don't. Apart from that, I don't know. I just haven't got into it,
Yeah.
I know there's like there are some just tutorials out there, and there's some ways to make it easier on yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah,
I just wonder what more, how much more capacity or performance are you going to get running Linux on a M1 chip?
Yeah,
because Linux and Mac and Unix and Ubuntu are all almost the same type of core operating system. I just wonder how much more of a faster performance you will get.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I apologize. I don't know much about. I just don't know enough about M1 Macs and Linux. But it's always cool to see people do workarounds and get Linux running on more systems than ever before, because Linux is, in a way, helping everybody else, lower the price of Microsoft and Mac iOS, and it's open source and it's free, and you can't beat that.
Yeah, definitely.
And if a lot of people put a lot of effort into making Linux amazing, I don't see why it shouldn't be like allowed in more things. I understand, we have some other articles talking about that too, about
correct.
We talked about like, with Apple and Epic Games, like closed
Correct.
circuits markets, and yeah, Linux is pretty cool because they're not trying to get any money. They probably take donations, but they're not really like based on profit. Correct.
And that's the best thing.
So you can't really beat them unless you really like close off everything. And there's almost always a workaround.
Definitely, there's always a workaround on things.
Just how much work you're gonna put into it.
Correct.
And if other people are gonna like really help you.
Yep, definitely. I just wonder how Apple's gonna handle this situation further.
Yeah, because they usually, they pride themselves on having their closed circuit and their security on their Macs.
Yep, so, it's so secure.
And I think they're thinking that like Linux is less secure.
Yeah, that's what they're saying, but I
don't know either way.
I don't think that it is. I think it's just it's the same thing. Even Unix is almost all the same. It's just that Mac has a graphical interface, and Ubuntu does too.